Hello there, Scorpio. Michele Bee here, and I love to help you raise your vibration to attract more love, abundance, and money, health, and soul purpose, that is meaning in your life. I like to put out tarot readings that are kind of guided by astrology once or twice a month, and this is your December 2021 reading for what you have to keep in mind going forward. We're in Sagittarius season right now. As I'm recording this, you just closed out your own birthday season. Happy birthday when you had your birthdays, Scorpio. So you released a lot of negative baggage during your own birthday season. That's what it's for everyone, but especially for you because you're the most eager to address your stuff that doesn't feel good and get rid of it because you want to feel light. You want the lightness, the excitement, the freedom of being able to just get up and go and not be held back by negative beliefs about what you should be, right? I love that you are eager to address shadow aspects of yourself in order to free yourself. So as you come out of this period of essential darkness of inner work, you're springing forward into Sagittarius season and you're ready to go. And you looked back on everything that was going on in your life and you're like, you know what? You know what? I love who I am. I did my best. I know that I did my best. And whether or not other people treated me well or didn't treat me well, I did my best. Even if some of those choices that I made weren't that great, it ended up being okay in the long run. Everything ended up working out eventually. Now, we've got these overview cards that I pulled for your month of December. Cards that I pulled is like the star is saying you came out of a dark period and you've got hope going forward. Here you are holding your hope to be able to manifest something better. Now, you have these big ideas that you came out of Scorpio season with, especially with that full moon eclipse in Taurus that happened on the 19th of November. A lot of wonderful creative ideas came from that lightness that you gained from losing all of that extra baggage. So you're like, I have these big ideas. Here you are having these big, wonderful ideas and not quite knowing how you're going to use those ideas later on, how you're going to make these things happen. But you are hopeful. There is this energy, this thread of, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I really hope that I can make it happen. And there's a part of you, this protective part of you that can be really, really cynical, that's like saying they're both pages. Both of these guys are pages and they're looking at each other. This is the fragment of you that's hopeful and excited and willing to do the work. And this is the part of you that's cynical and being like, I just want to protect you from ever being hurt. So I'm going to tell you about how this isn't going to work. So that is also happening. And that's a theme that we have throughout this reading. I pulled some cards for your abundance and health, your money, your health. And I also pulled some cards for your relationships, your love, your connections. And in both of them, there's this energy of excitement, hope, just making real decisions, concrete decisions about how you want to go forward, but not being quite sure if you can do it because you're like, I don't want to talk about it to anybody else because I don't want anybody to judge me if I fail. And worst of all, I don't want to let myself down. So remember that affirmation that I put forward as you're going through this month, Scorpio. I am proud of who I am, and your hopes are part of who you are, and that's nothing to put down. It's beautiful. I know that's like, to you, the worst thing in the world is to be naive about how hard the world is, but sometimes you have to be that way or you're gonna be stuck. You're not gonna get to do the fun things if you're always being like, well, it's not gonna work out anyway. I know you're doing it to protect yourself, but you're not going to get anywhere, right? So you're being asked to release all worry and fear about things that are outside of your control to make space for new opportunities. There are things that you can control and there are things that you can't control. So let's focus mostly on that. Looking at the cards that I pulled for you, there's so many major arcana in this spread. We got the Star, we got the Empress, and look, we also have the Hanged Man and the Lovers in reverse. So let's really focus for your abundance and money. Let's really focus on that Lovers in reverse, which is, I'm afraid that I'm going to make a stupid choice. I'm afraid that, excuse me, ripping my nose here. I'm afraid that if I behave like Adam and Eve here, in innocence, and if I'm not looking out, if I'm not watching my own back, if I let myself be vulnerable to really following those naive passions, that I'm gonna get knocked down. I'm gonna do something dumb, right? So for example, Adam and Eve in the garden, they were told that they shouldn't do that. And there are things that you get told all the time, Scorpio, that you shouldn't do because there's consequences for it. But they didn't mean to hurt anything. They were just curious about the damn apple, right? And what happened? Boom. Like their lives were totally overturned, and then they had to suffer as a consequence of that, right? And so we hear these stories, we're raised with these stories that tell us that if you are naive or curious, you're going to be punished. And there are consequences to that. And that is what's holding you up. That's what's holding you up, is that you're worried that if you make just one little silly mistake when it comes to your abundance, that you're going to be punished. And so you don't want to get your hopes too high. You don't want to stick your neck out. There's a saying that the long blade of grass gets cut off, and you're afraid of sticking yourself out too far, or doing too much, or else something bad is going to happen to you. And the cards are trying to say, hey, you can only control you. You can't control other people's reactions. And you know for a fact that success is for the bold, right? You're being asked to pull yourself out of the old stories that used to keep us in line. Remember the fact that people weren't allowed to learn, many people weren't allowed to learn how to read. Slaves, African slaves in the United States weren't allowed to learn how to read because they wanted, the slave owners wanted to make sure to keep them ignorant about what their rights were. So we were fed these stories that if you go out of your way, if you try to empower yourself in some way, that you're not going, that something terrible is going to happen to you. We were fed these stories for generations and generations to keep ourselves in our place, to keep the wealthy where they are and to keep the poor where they are. But we don't have to follow those stories anymore. We can make our own stories. You're being challenged to come out from behind that tree. Come out from behind that tree and accept the gift. There is no punishment for accepting this gift, okay? Just see what happens if you take the cup. If you take the opportunity, see what happens. Allow yourself to be vulnerable just this once. If an opportunity comes up in December that has you sticking your neck out just a little bit, go ahead and try it and see if you really do get punished. See if you really do get knocked down. What's the worst thing that can happen? And go from there. Just think about, what's the worst thing that could happen to me if I accept this challenge or whatever, and give it a try. All right. Excuse me, my nose is just itching, and it happens when I start reading tarot. I think it's magic coming out of my nose. Let's look at your love messages here. We have 3 cards for your love messages, and I see you doing some juggling. Now, this guy could represent multiple partners being juggled and not, it's just a non-committal kind of energy. It could be multiple partners. However, it could also be you saying, well, I can't have both. I can't have great connections and be able to juggle money and being able to work. I can't take really good care of my family and have a boyfriend. I can't do multiple things. So it's real concern. You're like, well, and also I'm kind of happy with things the way they are anyway, but it's 9 cups, not 10. That's the thing. You know that you know that you could do better. You know that you can have more. For those of you who are in partnerships right now, you're like, I want to level up, but I don't have time. Things are just okay. I shouldn't ask for more. Those kinds of energies are hanging around that. But you know you would like more. So it's just this overarching energy for all Scorpios, whether they're in a relationship, whether they're looking for a relationship. It's like things are okay right now, but I would like things to be a little bit better. It would be cool if it was easy for things to be a little bit better. You're being challenged with the Strength card being here. Yes, another major arcana. Come out of your comfort zone. This is something that's happening over and over in a thread that's happening over and over in these readings, is come just a little bit out of your comfort zone. And so if you're in a partnership and you think that there's something more that you would like in the relationship, some more, physical time you would like to have in the relationship, just ask for it. If you would like to hang out with friends a little bit more, ask your friend if they want to meet up for coffee or meet up for a cocktail or something like that. If you feel like you want to attract a new sweetheart into your life, then, do little things to hang out with people that you would like to hang out with, right? But you've got to make the space in the first place. And I feel like that's something that you haven't been sure if you can do, but you're being told that it is not an either or situation. It's an and. So figure out how you can do the and. We have these two clarification cards that I also pulled up, the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands, which indicates an energy of apathy. An energy of apathy by being overwhelmed by options. So for some of you in the arena of love, I just had the download about singles that feel like there's all these options, but none of them are really are that great, right? You want something really, really special. Scorpio needs a one special thing, but it takes a while for them to feel safe to commit to that one special connection. But there's this general energy of there's so many people that you're touching base with, but you really aren't feeling totally secure with any of them, and it's got you feeling apathetic. And for those of you who are in relationships, it's like you're juggling so many things when you would really like to slow down and have deep connections with your partners. So it's just a matter of making space for that. So you're being asked to, overall, in this entire reading for the month of December, get yourself organized, take some risks, ask for what you want, and try to focus a lot more on learning how to do things in a more intimate, specialized manner. What else needs to come out for Scorpio? I like to just pull a couple of cards, and if those, I'm just going to free read them with no intuitive downloads, okay? I'm just going to say what the energies mean, and if you resonate with those cards, then wonderful. If it's meaningful, the message is meaningful to you, then wonderful, okay? Seven of Cups, okay? So many options. None of them are significant or meaningful. You really just want one special thing. What does that mean to you? Number 2, for Scorpio for December. 4 of Swords, taking a rest after being in a long battle. I see that's significance with the star that we had earlier coming up. Taking a rest after a long battle and evaluating your plan, how you're going to go forward. Rest your mind for a little bit. 6 of Swords. Okay, the quick download that I have is about releasing attachment to shame so that you can get on with your life. Okay, and one last affirmation. Remember, we have, I am proud of who I am as an overarching message for Scorpio, and I release all worry about things that are outside of my control so I can make space for new opportunities. What else do we have? I choose a growth mindset that allows me to adapt, improve, and thrive. I like that. Growth mindset. Okay, this is where I leave off, Scorpio. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that. And in the description box below, you'll find a link to my Instagram. Follow me over there, message me. You can ask me about private readings. I'm trying to get that organized, some kind of scheduling system set up so that I can start accepting readings with the new year. Love ya. Boom. Happy December. Happy holidays. See you later, Scorpio.